Hello everybody and welcome to more Parking Lot Thoughts. Today is the Knowledge is a Power edition. So I pose you this question that I want to ask almost everybody I see under the age of 25 in the gym. If you can lift hard for 3 hours and grind away at it, then why can't you read for 10 minutes? I ask you that because, a lot of people will come to me complaining in the gym, saying they're stuck. I get it. We all get stuck sometimes. And you start asking about what they're doing, and you realize they're not thinking very intelligently about their training. And you start digging a little bit more, and you realize it's not that they're not thinking about their training, it's that they don't know anything to know how to think. They've never read about anything. They've never listened to a podcast. They've never really watched a YouTube video. They just kind of go into the gym and do some stuff, which is a great way to start. That's how you learn things, We used to, see pictures of exercises in a magazine, and then, what does that train? Well, we just do 10 sets of it and figure out what was sore the next day and assume that's what, that exercise worked. Well, we have the internet now, so we can be a little bit smarter. But figuring things out on your own, I'm all for it. But figuring things out because somebody else figured it out for you, that's even smarter, right? Maybe, sort of. So that's just what I've been thinking about looking at the people in the gym lately, is that they just need to read or listen to a podcast or find some YouTube that shows them how to do some stuff in the gym. All I'm recommending here is, 20, 30 minutes, maybe a week total. And if you're podcasting, you can turn that on when you're doing other stuff. But just starting to educate yourself about what you're doing, because people will ask me, oh, well, how do you do this? How do you do that in the gym? And, oh, I could never lift as much as you do, or this or that. I'm not all that strong. They could totally lift more than I do. I don't have good genetics. You know what? I just want to yell at these people. I outlift you because I outsmart you. I've read about things. I, went through, the process of becoming a trainer. I've, spent hours and hours and hours and hours researching. So, while you're training hard, I'm training more optimally. And you don't know what optimal is until you, gain some knowledge. And that's a mixture of, real life experience and, mixture of, learning some facts. You can get that information from all sorts of places. You can have a coach teach you. You can read. But if you're not upping your knowledge base, you're screwing yourself over here. But time and time again, when I say, something like that they need to read more and get smarter about their training, they just look at me like I don't have time for that. They have time to do arms for 2 hours. They can't cut that short by 10 minutes to read an article. Well, okay. You be stuck for the rest of your life, because if you look around the gym, you're going to find a lot of people that have been stuck for 20 years. They're lifting the same weights, the same way, doing the same thing, wishing they were something different. But they have never taken the time to figure out what the hell they were doing. So, my advice, if you're trying to figure out what the hell you're doing, is find a podcast you like, find a YouTube channel you like, and find a website. And I'll even tell you some things to look for. So, number one, podcast. There's a Dave Tate Table Talk. Look that up. There's a Joe DeFranco training podcast. Look that up. Then, website. Just go to elitefts.com. Read an article. Whatever article you want to read. Whatever jumps out at you. And just repeat that. And then on YouTube, I would tell you to look for anything where Mark Bell or Ed Cohen is teaching you how to lift. There's all sorts of tutorials, seminars with all sorts of clips from those guys. That's a good place to start. You do these things, you're going to be smarter than 90% of the lifters in there. So being smarter than the other lifters is one way to lift heavier than the other lifters, to get more muscle. Or you can keep banging your head against the wall. But those are my thoughts. watching people in the gym that have no idea what they're doing and don't want to ever learn what they're doing. Don't be one of those people. Have a wonderful afternoon.